What's going on, guys? Thought you might get something out of this. I'm going to share with you guys a workout I did about over a week ago that actually took me a few days to recover from. I shouldn't say a few days, probably at least 4 or 5 days to recover from. And I actually did a workout yesterday that I thought in my head I probably needed another rest day. But the point is, very simple workout using high intensity principles. Took me less than 30 minutes, give or take, with some setup and breakdown of weights here, using a very simplistic, relatively cheap machine, a Powertec or a lever gym. I think these are good machines in their own right, but with that being said, the commentary and some of these things I'm going over, you can apply this to a number of things at your home gym, of course, the gym, whether that's an all-in-one trainer, squat rack and barbells, basic stuff like that, of course, adjustable dumbbells, whatever it is, you can apply this. And actually I did a resistance band workout you'll see in the future, kind of doing the same exact thing here. I am just using the Powertec though, more or less out of necessity. The quantum trainer is going to be coming back in here. Stay tuned for some updates for that. People have picked them up and said they absolutely love them. Of course, you do everything here on a quantum trainer. There's some new lat attachments. All that stuff is back in stock. And again, shameless plug, my link saves you exclusively off $100 off the list price on their website with their two options. All that sales stuff and intro out of the way, guys, we're going to jump right into it. Going to go through kind of my thoughts and processes going through this particular workout. Hope you guys enjoy this. If you want to see more workouts or even commentary on workouts, let me know. Don't know how much you guys like this stuff or receive this stuff. Just thought I'd share with you guys. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Let's jump right into it. Okay, we're going to try and do this all in one take here. We'll see what happens. But first, starting off with an incline chest press, if it isn't too obvious. Of course, I'm going to warm up here a little bit, and there's a little bit of a light warm up. But primarily what I'm really doing here is trying to find the angle, also you can adjust the Powertec bench forward and back. Basically just trying to find the ideal position where I'm really feeling the tension and stress delivered where I want to feel, in this case, upper chest, but obviously chest. And this is something that's on an individual basis, but it is very important, especially using a specialized machine like a Powertec, to take some time to position yourself into that position. You can see there I even dropped the seat down, which seems kind of weird for an incline to have the seat at an angle, but I just found that having that seat flat, for me, getting in that position was kind of that sweet spot. Again, this is on your own kind of personal position, but I can't stress this enough. I edited out a lot of footage out of that. There's probably at least, 5-ish, 7 minutes getting ideally set up. This is now kind of a true warm-up set, just kind of getting my bearings, this being the first exercise. Just put 2 plates on. It's been a while since I documented this. I used to actually document having a lever gym chest press as one of these high intensity training metrics I would use, but I knew that this amount of weight, 245s and a 25, would be fine for me. Just trying to go to all-out failure here, get myself a little psyched up if I can to start. Now my cadence, I'm thinking about just controlling the weight and primarily always thinking about that tension just staying on the muscle. That's my primary focus here. I'm trying to breathe. That's something that is very important if you're doing something like this, to not hold your breath. Some little sticking points were fine if you're doing strength training, but stuff like this, the rep range is getting a little bit higher. I think obviously very important to get these kind of, if you can, at the very least, kind of quick breaths. You can see them already starting to get pretty tense in the face. And this can happen immediately, guys. I mean, it's just a matter of getting yourself in that right groove, keeping that tension on the muscles. There's no rest, no letting up here. And you can see that this is ramping up slowly, but this felt actually perfect. And I can tell you right now, I'm a week out, I can still kind of feel almost this workout. I felt this a few days after for sure. Here I'm getting to that sticking point. I think I maybe get one more trying to control that on the way down, and that's all I got. You can see me screaming, and I dropped the weight. Someone actually asked me before, how can you do high intensity training in the home? Of course, a machine like this, works out great. This is why a Powertec lever gym, Smith machine, spotter arms, of course, work out good. I go superset right into flies. Sometimes I've done this before, and it's been a while since I've done this. This is only maybe 50-ish pounds. I've gone as high as, 70 for doing this. My friend John Hart, big high intensity advocate, does a lot of free weight stuff, even in his course. Shameless plug, I'll link that down below, discount codes there for as well. But I think what happens if you're going to be doing free weights, it gets to be a little harder, obviously, to kind of control that groove, especially when you're trying to give it all out effort. So a big thing I even noticed during this set is really trying to control that weight. And this is where I think some individual skill comes in, or just some experience. So if this is not you feel like you're doing this and you're feeling it more in your shoulders or other weird spots, then I wouldn't necessarily do this. I'd try and find a machine, but I think you definitely can do it with flies. Notice I'm not going to force it too much there, because any more in that, I'm going to lose control of the weights, and failure on that just not going to look too good. But I would still say that was momentary muscular failure at the point where I really couldn't do any more with good solid fluid range of motion, which I think is important. Yes, you can put a gun to your head and could I squeeze out a couple sloppy reps and cheating it? I think I could, but that's the most important thing I think, and I learned that from John as well, is really kind of doing it in a safe amount of way where you're not gonna, snap something, break something, hurt yourself. So controlling that weight basically. Now again, taking some time out, adjusting my positioning, getting the bench set up ideally. And I find the Powertec actually fits me. I can see for some people, if you're taller, it might not work. This is a warm-up set, so I'm doing this kind of reverse grip pull downs, if you want to call it that way. Love this exercise. This is one of those classical Mike Mentzer exercises, I believe. We don't have no Nautilus pull down here, but it works out good. This is one too. I used to use the GMWD lever gym. I could throw 445s on here. It's been a while since I've done this. This is less than that, but I think this, I just don't remember the weight difference on this, but still just working out slow, trying to put in full effort. So I have no idea what the weight, maybe could have been higher. I don't know what the rep range is going to be here, but one mistake I made, you can see right from this video, which is important. Don't do this. Learn from my mistakes basically. Is you can see my hands are a little off-centered. So as I started this, at rep 3 or 4, I realized, I'm pulling a little bit more with one of my arms, just didn't feel it centered. So you'll see me kind of adjust here in a second to kind of fix that, especially as I'm starting to get close to failure here. I want to make sure everything's kind of evenly distributed to really work that weight. And here you're going to see me definitely kind of get to a point of failure, still trying to control, again, the weight, especially that eccentric, although, I can tell I'm getting a little tired. When you're watching later in the fact, you see how much that eccentric maybe is getting sped up a little bit. But now you're going to start to see me right about here. So I start doing this thing where I start kind of shaking my head, almost like I'm kind of headbanging in my brain as I'm kind of doing this. Could have been the music, I don't know. But here, I'm kind of really trying to force that last rep, try not to cheat. I wouldn't say that rocking is really cheating. I think I try and squeeze one more here, and that maybe I didn't, and that was it. Now that was tough. I remember doing that one and thought that was, plenty enough. Again, that to me was momentary muscular failure. I spent a lot of time wasting here. Honestly, about 5 minutes. I had to put the cables back on. This happens with Powertec. The cables slip off, and that was very annoying. This is the working setup. You're going to see this was not ideal. Powertec does not give you foot plates. You have to buy some add-ons. So I just felt very uncomfortable with my feet where the positioning did not feel ideal for me. So unfortunately, you can call this maybe a rest pause set. I don't know, but I don't get a continuous set. I try standing up, then I go back and sit down. Regardless, I would say it's a set to failure in just a basic row. This is, again, I would say kind of almost a superset because I tried to, not waste too much time, but I did spend time adjusting the set here. Standing up, this felt okay, but then I realized that's not ideal. I'm gonna go back to where I was before, anchor my feet maybe on the outside, get a little more extension between me and the machine. And here I'm just gonna go to failure. This is where I'm gonna end it. And you can see now my muscles, I can just see visually, like I'm getting, the pump is on at this point. For me, it's always like the first set, especially doing stuff like set to failure. Second, third set of an exercise. This is the third exercise. My body starts to really, kind of get that pump going on, happens immediately. So you'd be surprised after one set, how much your body gets pumped up, even compared to like volume stuff. Now I go back to tricep press downs for me, just kind of mix up the limbs here, did a lot of pulling, do kind of somewhat of a pushing pattern. Basic tricep press down. What I'm really trying to emphasize here is, for me at least, I'm a big believer in getting as much kind of flexion in the elbow and then a nice full decent extension, not just kind of stopping at 90 degrees. So that's a big thing for me. I'm angling my body, so a certain way where I really feel that tension and stress targeted right on the triceps. This is a lever. I always find, I said this with my quantum trainer too, since you're working on this lever where it's kind of harder at the bottom and kind of gets a little bit easier as you go. I believe that's the case. Yeah, so I actually really like this. I love how there's this transition of force right there that for me, whenever I do a Powertec or a lever jam or even my quantum trainer press down with plates, it's a little bit unique. You can see there I'm really kind of forcing it. That I actually like the way the stress is kind of given off. So about ready to approach it here. Can't really get another one, trying to squeeze that, and that is it, okay? There is that point where I feel like, could I have done another one? Could I have someone forced it? Could I really gyrate another one? I think I would have, but I think it would have been like shaky and just very sloppy, and I would have lost the tension and stress on the muscle. So obviously here I'm going into bicep curls, got myself set up, got some chain for an extension. You saw that for the tricep press downs, and that's because I just wanted to have ideal, again, I don't want to say strength curve, like a better word, but just ideal kind of force distributed through the chains from the start to finish. Because if you didn't have the chain, it might be a little bit easier because the lever is kind of coming up right from the initial degrees of the pull here in the bicep curl. Also very tough, and this actually felt really good. I said this before with Quantum Trainer as well, with that leverage kind of curl, I think feels good. So again, that was another example where maybe I could possibly done the one, but honestly without good form, that would have been the stopping point. Here I'm just testing the limits. I was trying to see, how that was going to feel. A little bit of a weight. I did triceps, of course, but I just find with my delts don't feel like they sacrificed, the movement in general. Sometimes I would hold off on this and doing a shoulder exercise, maybe until the next upper body workout, but I just did it here. I've also experimented with going close grip versus wide grip. Here I just went wide grip. I think this actually feels really good on a Powertec or even a lever gym or lever arms for that matter. So one of my favorite exercises to do is shoulders with lever arms. And this felt excellent. I think I had no stress in my, basically feeling it in all the right places in my deltoids. This one I remember getting to failure, and we'll see it here in a second. But if you have iffy shoulders or bad shoulders, you can go more of a neutral grip, and you'll see me kind of try that, and I'll show you that in the end. But for me, this just feels so good. This feels better than, just with dumbbells feel good, but definitely for sure better than barbell press. And I think for a lot of people, especially with shoulders where they're at, a very safe exercise. Of course, you can, go to failure to the pin and you're good here. So you're gonna see me get to that point where I'm really gonna force this, or already right here. I'm pretty much at the limit, but here's my head kind of gyrating, trying to get squeeze out those last few reps. I think I might get one or two. We'll see, I don't remember. Fighting that, it's more of definitely an isometric hold. Now, this is a safe isometric. Some isometric holds I think are a little unsafe, where they start pulling you out of position. But that is it. Slow descent if I can, and that was it. Now here what I do, remember, I wanted to see like what would it feel like if you a few minutes, maybe a minute rest, what it felt like. And I was totally cashed. I got about 2 reps and realized, yeah, my delts are cashed out. Just showing you that one set to failure, worked out pretty good. Now what I'm doing is, this is kind of wrapping up, guys. As you can see by the time we're at here is I'm just doing some light stuff. I think, you can do, you can go to failure if you want to the shrugs, but this is just kind of icing on the cake stuff. I did maybe one set of this, but not to failure. Just getting some shrugs, and I rarely even do shrugs that often. It's just something I just like to do. It feels good. Same thing here. They're already set up. Just a little bit of rows, just feeling it out. But again, nothing really. Just kind of stopped midway through, just kind of messing around here. But then finally, sometimes I will do this just to kind of get blood flowing. I just like the way it feels. Light presses, and then I stand up and do some light curls. On all these, I did not do that many reps, maybe about 10-ish reps. And this is also a barometer too. I was doing some hammer curls and I realized, my biceps, after that one set, a few minutes prior, pretty much cashed me out. So that is it, guys. That was a typical workout. That was the workout. You're gonna see me stop here in a second. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Any more stuff you guys want to see in the future, let me know. I got another resistance band workout very similar to this coming in the future that I just did the other day. That was pretty good. This actually felt a little better though, in my opinion. Any questions, comments, feedback, let me know, guys. I'll see you on the next video.